Okay, so I recorded the other night 2 hours of beautiful radio with Jeff Edwards. Probably one of the better shows we've ever done. And I wake up the next morning, I was like, alright, it's late, gonna go to bed. I'll wake up and throw it on the YouTube. Everything will be fine. I go to play it back and it doesn't load up. I go to upload it to YouTube. The file uploads, but it doesn't process. Apparently the file is there, but there's nothing on it. Like it's unable to play. As my cat enters the bedroom where I'm recording it. Hey cat, what do you want? Your thoughts on All Elite? Here, cat show. Here we go. Thoughts on All Elite Wrestling. Go. You don't like it? Hey, cat. All Elite. No? Okay. It can't be a YouTube video without a cat involved, right? Hey, cat. Are you All Elite? She's not saying anything. No? Okay. Anyway. So I record 2 hours, it's lost, it's gone. I'm not going to ask Jeff to re-record that. But, and it's one of the better bits that we've done, too. Oh. You may be asking yourself, why do I have AC up on the screen shotgunning a bottle of vodka? It's because, AC, you're a soccer mom. I hate to break it to you, you're one of those hipster soccer moms. He's got the headband going. Even in this picture, he's got the headband on. Or is that a do-rag? I don't know what it is with people from the Northeast and headbands. I was at a service plaza up on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. They have these service plazas where you can go in. They have restaurants inside or whatever. And I pull in this service plaza, and there's a grown man. He's got the tight ass skinny jean workout pants on, like the little, what would you call them? He looked like he was wearing leggings. He's got like the tight biker shirt on, like the tight like bicycle rider shirt on, and his bubble vest over his down vest over it. And he's walking his little dog. He had a Chihuahua. And he's wearing a aquamarine colored blue-ish headband. And he didn't even have that much hair. That's what kills me. What the fuck do you need a headband for? What is it with people, you men up in the Northeast, wearing these goddamn frilly little headbands? So not only does that make him a soccer mom, but he's also shotgunning that vodka right there, like many soccer moms tend to do at the end of the day after their kids go to bed. And it's probably that John Cena Sky vodka. Remember, ladies, AC only thinks about you when he's drinking Sky vodka. He drives his daughter to school. Granted, it was college, and he wanted to check out the college with her, but no doubt that he still embarrasses his kid by taking her to school. I won't take too many jabs around the kid because AC's a damn good father. He throws laptops around. He doesn't understand technology like most soccer moms do. And he uses an iPhone. He uses an iPhone like most soccer moms, and he has Jeff Edwards' name as Hollywood Edwards in his phone. So he has little pet names for everybody. I'm probably Fat Ass Joe in there, you know. And we already know the MO, so AC, you can't fire back at me on your little podcast, because Joe White rides lawnmowers up to bus stops in his pajama pants and eats Biscuitville and complains and gets free food. And he drives a big rig for a living. And he's a Melvin Dassey. There you go. So that's AC's counterpoint to all of it. I took away your MO, AC. You can't do a comeback. I already did it. Joe White's a Southern hick who goes to Biscuitville, eats bacon, and rides lawnmowers. Guilty. Guilty as charged. Man. So, another thing that I wanted to talk about here is the New Japan Pro Wrestling last week held their Wrestle Kingdom 13 show. Of course, all the All Elite guys lost. Kenny Omega lost. Kenny Omega did an interview with the Japanese newspaper saying, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with New Japan," which could be a total swerve. Meltzer talked about a few months ago, I think it was Meltzer, that there's an HBO documentary coming out for HBO Canada. And in that documentary about Kenny Omega for HBO Canada, Kenny Omega kind of comes out of the closet, so to speak, and announces, yes, he's gay, or at least bisexual. Who cares? Who cares? Strong rumors out there that he's going to WWE. It's either going to be WWE or All Elite. The pay is not a question, because I firmly believe that the Khan family, which we'll get to them in a minute, the Money Mark Khan family, we'll just call him Money Mark Khan. Money Mark Khan has the money to pay Omega what WWE would pay him. Rumors is that Money Mark Khan has more money than Vince or WWE. So that to me tells me right there that money is not a factor here. What is a factor is, does he want to go to WWE and say, yes, I've been there, just to say he was there? Because that's the goal. I mean, that's still the goal. Not for everybody, but it's still a big factor. Is, you know, they're still the best. You want to work there. Or does he want to go down and play in a treehouse with his friends? Which is what this AEW is coming off as. Let's make no mistake about it. It's a bunch of people in the treehouse. Or they've upgraded for the treehouse and built themselves a fort. My bet is on the All Elite Wrestling. My bet is he will join the Young Bucks. He will join Cody. And here's what kills me about this thing. You gotta wonder how Kenny Omega feels. Because if I was Kenny Omega, I'd be kind of pissed off. Here I am. I've spent 2 or 3 years building up this deal with the Young Bucks. And then in the matter of a year, or a year and a half, here comes Cody and kind of busts up the friendship, so to speak. Because if you notice, Kenny Omega really hasn't been on Being the Elite. He was on the last episode when they were in New Japan and they did the New Year's Eve party or whatever, and they signed their contracts. But Kenny Omega really is kind of separated from them, especially since Kota Ibushi's been back. So you kind of got to wonder how Kenny feels about this whole thing. My bet is he's going to All Elite. He's going to play in the fort with his friends. More about All Elite here in a minute. WWE. And I do have some predictions coming up here. And I'm going to tie the predictions into the news stories I'm talking about. WWE is gobbling up all the talent with their recent reboot. They're gobbling up all the talent because they don't want Ring of Honor to get them. They don't want New Japan to get them. They don't want All Elite to get them. So, yeah, WWE's doing the smart thing. They're gobbling up talent. Why? Because they don't. I mean, from a business perspective, it's a smart move to make. As much as Vince talks about how competition is key and no, the only people he wants to compete with is himself. And here's my first prediction. A lot of people are going, well, when the XFL starts up next year, hopefully Vince's attention will be tied to that and less on WWE. And the goddamn... Here's the funniest one I've heard from Solomon. Solomon, you stupid snowflake bastard. He predicted that Triple H will be in charge of SmackDown in the coming year and that Vince is going to step away. Vince hired a commissioner of the XFL, an overseer. I think his name is Andrew Luck. I know his last name is Luck. Vince hired this guy to oversee everything so that he wouldn't have to do it, so that his focus can remain on WWE. He'll get the weekly report from Mr. Luck about how the XFL is doing. But I don't see Vince turning his full attention away from WWE. I don't see him getting distracted. It's going to get worse before it gets better. So that's my prediction, is that everything will get worse before it gets better. Vince will not draw his attention toward the XFL in the coming year. Vince will... Now, when 2020 gets around, maybe that first 2 weeks, yeah, Vince is going to be all about it. But he hired Mr. Luck to oversee everything. And that's the way it's going to be. He'll get his weekly reports from Mr. Luck. He'll tell Mr. Luck what to do. And that's going to be it. Priscilla Kelly. We got to talk about this. Everybody, of course, has seen the tampon spot that she did to a wrestler named Tuna in a show that didn't even have a ring. It was in a nightclub / bar, and you all know how I feel about wrestling shows being in nightclubs. Shouldn't happen. You should not, I'm sorry, alcohol should not be served at wrestling events. It just leads to trouble. So she does a spot, which Jeff Edwards thoroughly enjoyed, where she digs down into her panties or her ring gear, digs around her and pulls a tampon out of her and out of her schnabitz and shoved it in Tuna's mouth. And then, of course, that sends everybody into an uproar on Twitter, including Jim Cornette, which I agree with Jim Cornette, because this spot is fucking stupid. It has no place in wrestling. So after the criticism starts, what happens? And I would not be surprised if she signed All Elite after this. But because she fits in the mold. She fits that fucking stupid, I don't give a shit about the business mold. What's the first thing she says after the criticism comes out? You know it's fake, right? And Jeff was arguing the point of she meant the tampon. I'm arguing the fact of no, she means the business. You know it's fake, right? What's the number one job of a pro wrestler? It's not to entertain the crowd. That's secondary. That is secondary. Whether it entertains me or not is secondary. The number one job of a pro wrestler is to make me believe it's real. To make it look real, to make me believe, to make me suspend my disbelief. And ripping a tampon out of you, or flipping someone with your dick, or having inflatable penises is not making me believe it's real. Has no place in this business. And if AEW hopes to succeed on the networks that I've been hearing that have been bantered about, you can't do that. You can't do that on a TNT. We know drama here at TNT. Watch TNT. We have Rizzoli and Isles, which, yeah, that show got canceled. So what else do they have? What do they have on TNT nowadays? We have Cop Show X, where the drama is real. And then, after that, watch some guy get flipped with a penis. We are drama. We are TNT. No. No, no, no. We are drama. Coming up next, after the Charmed reruns, Priscilla Kelly's Tampon Hour. No. Priscilla Kelly's Tampon Talk. No. 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 Hashtag not my wrestling. No. Jordan Grace. We got to call Jordan Grace out for something. I love Jordan Grace. She's beautiful. She's sexy. She's smart. She makes her own ring gear, for crying out loud. She's married to Jonathan Gresham. Or getting married to Jonathan Gresham. So, I love me some Jordan Grace. You've heard me mention her on the show many times before here on the channel. And what kills me about Priscilla Kelly is, back when I was doing the CWF After Show, you heard me put her over as one of my favorite talents. Whenever she'd pop up on CWF Worldwide, I spent a lengthy amount of time talking about her. She's a damn good worker, but this probably wasn't the best decision she's ever made. But getting back to Jordan Grace. Jordan, I love you, honey, but you're a bit of a hypocrite. She announced last week that she's closing her DMs on all forms of social media. Okay? Why? One is to assume that she's getting sick and tired of the guys and maybe even the women sending her dick pics and trying to go out with her and, hey, mama, won't you sit on my face and all this shit. You know. All the shit that the perverts send out there in the world. For every good guy like me, there's always 5 or 6 guys hitting her up going, show me your boobs. So, she decides that because of this, I'm assuming it's because of this, she's going to close her DMs on all social media. That's all well and good, Miss Grace, except for the fact that you wrote 2 books called DMs of a Female Professional Wrestler Volume 1 and DMs of a Female Professional Wrestler Volume 2. So these very people that you're closing your DMs because of, you're making money, you made money off them. It's all well and good as long as you're making money off of them. It's all well and good as long as you're sharing it out there with the rest of the world, and making the rest of the world go, look at these perverts. You should have done this a long time ago if you were that offended and shooken up by it, sweetie. Maybe the fact now that she's married or getting married had something to do with it. But she's been dating Jonathan Gresham for years. At least a year before he popped the question. And that's her personal business. That's no business of mine. I really shouldn't be talking about it, but it stands. But if that's a factor in her closing her DMs, it doesn't matter. She should have done this a long time ago. But it's okay when you made 2 books, not 1, but 2. You wrote 2 books exposing these guys and making money off of this. It didn't hurt your feelings when the book sales, when those checks were rolling in off of this, did it? Regardless of whether you had a boyfriend or not, regardless of whether you're in a relationship, married, whatever. In this SJW world that we live in, you should have done it a long time ago. But now I have to call you out on the hypocrite train, darling. I gotta call you out for this. It's okay when you were making money off of them. Why now? And again, people out there are going to say it's none of my business. And you know what? You're probably right. It is none of my business. But it's like me, and I'm sorry, but no, you can't sit there and write 2 books, 2 of them, and sell them and make money off of them. You're making money out of exploiting these guys, which they very well deserve it. They're a bunch of perverts. I'm not saying this to what's the term? To glorify these guys. I'm not saying this to put these guys over there. Anybody who sends anybody a DM like that, you're a scumbag. But if I go out, it's like if I were to go out there and go, I'm going to write a book about how much I hate Brussels sprouts, and then go out there and eat Brussels sprouts. It's like you just wrote 2 books about how you hate them. Why are you eating them? You know? It makes you come off as kind of fake and phony. It does. To me, it does. You wrote 2 books on this. You made money off of this. Now I'm closing them. The books not sell well? Seriously, if you go to her website, I think it's JordanGraceWrestler.com. I'll put you over. The first 2 pieces of merch up there are DMs of a female professional wrestler, volumes 1 and 2. If they offended you that much, sweetie, you should have closed it to begin with. AEW. Let's get into AEW. So, in the DM that AC shared, they're like, what do you want to bet Joe White calls the Young Bucks money marks? Nope, it's not the Young Bucks, it's Tony Khan and the Khan family. They're the money marks. In fact, they should change that football team to the Jacksonville Money Marks, because that's what they are. Rumor is that they're throwing out millions of dollars to fund this thing. Rumor is that they're signing people like Goldberg. One of the people on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube channel, this lovely female, I can't remember her name because she's not that relevant, but I remember her going, when the Goldberg rumor goes, she starts marking her ass off because of Goldberg joined. Here's a guy who we're sitting here going, he's too old. Why is he coming back to WWE? Why is he part-timing? Yet you mark out when he joins AEW, or if he's at the mere thought of him joining AEW, you mark out. Why? Oh, Joe, because it's not WWE. What difference does it make whether it's Coke or Pepsi? You know, if Mountain Dew signs with Coke or Pepsi, it's still Mountain Dew. You still hate it for the same reasons. He's still a part-timer. I know, Joe White's coming up with some whiz-bang analogies today. I know, Mountain Dew's owned by Pepsi. Give me a break. It's still early for me. I wanted to record this last night, but I didn't, because I wanted to wait until the dust settled with this whole AEW thing. And then people are like, well, they're gonna have to work with Ring of Honor. They're gonna have to work with New Japan. I don't want them working with Ring of Honor. I don't want them working with New Japan. Here's why. Because you'll have the same talent floating between the same 3 promotions. Yes, it's good for the talent because they're making money, but it's bad for the fans, and here's why. Because it runs into, if I'm a babyface over here at Ring of Honor, I can't be a heel in New Japan or AEW because it's like, what the fuck? And then you're going to have the same matches with the same people, just in different settings. It reminds me of Southern California, the SoCal indie scene back in the early 2000s. Around 2004 or 2005. You had Human Tornado on 5 different shows in one weekend. literally, you would hear about people like Christopher Daniels or Human Tornado or whatever the case may be, talking about going and wrestling for PWG in the afternoon, and then driving 15 minutes down the road and wrestling for Adrenaline Unleashed. And then they would go up, and this is when XPW was still around, they'd go up and wrestle for XPW. So, no, I don't want to see this. They need Ring of Honor and New Japan working together, that's cool. It's been doing it for years. I applaud them. I hope that continues. Because you can interweave the storylines, but three's a crowd. The old expression, three's a crowd. They had the press conference yesterday. It was a rally in a parking lot with pyro and a stage, and they had fireworks at the end of it, and everybody's bashing the production value. I'm like, look, it's a rally. They probably decided at the last minute to throw this thing up there. Their production value will have to step up on the shows, because I went back and watched some of All In last night after this press conference, and I'm sitting here going, this looks like a Ring of Honor show. They're going to have to do better, because Ring of Honor's production value, while it's good, it's not the best. It's never going to compete with WWE. Conrad Thompson's out there along with Alex Marvez. And Conrad, it's time to go ahead and say you're in business with these guys. It's time to come out there. This whole crap of I'm just a fan. I'm not in the business. I'm just a fat hick from Huntsville, Alabama. I'm not in the wrestling business. Dude, you're in the business. You've made yourself. You've weaseled your way into the business. You're working for them. Cut the shit. They announced that they're holding their event, I want to say it was May 25th at the MGM Grand. Dave Meltzer says that they wanted the T-Mobile Arena, which is the new arena there in Las Vegas. But due to the Knights possibly making the NHL playoffs and the NHL schedule, they get top billing in the arena, so they moved it to the MGM Grand. Hey, you're walking right into where UFC held most of their damn shit back in the day. That's impressive. The MGM Grand impresses me. You can put about 17,000 in there. If you do a small set, not a big production, about pyro and ballyhoo, about 12,000. They say Cody and the Bucks come out. Cody says, we're going to pay talent well here. We're going to pay them evenly across the board. And then Brandy says we're going to have equal pay for women. You know, the whole SJW flag was flying during that. Who cares? I don't need to know how much the guy's getting paid. It's none of my business how much the guy's getting paid. We don't need to know this. Put that in a press release to the press. Don't put it out there to the fans. We don't need to know about it. There is certain shit that you could kayfabe us on. We don't need to know about it. I'm gonna run through some talent here. Pac, Neville. Oh my God! Everybody's going ape shit over Pac. Oh my God! Pac is there. Pac is there. They got Pac. They mentioned that there was about 15,000 people watching across all the platforms. My first thought to this is, there's your audience. That's as big as it'll ever get. Unless something big happens on their TV. Unless they actually advertise beyond... You know, WWE, they don't advertise beyond USA. And when they do, it's the majority of their advertisements run during their own programming. You need billboards in Times Square promoting this. You need, radio ads. You need TV ads across all networks. You can't just rest on your laurels and go, okay, we'll just put it out there. If you build it, they will come. Yeah, those same 10,000 people or 15, 16,000 people that are watching across your platforms, yeah, that's your audience right there. I think it was 100,000. May have been 100,000. Still not going to hold a candle when WWE is doing 2 million. I know that's low for WWE, but even still, 1 million people tuning in, they're not going to get that right away. If they do, it surprises me. They'll get it for their first couple weeks of TV. But going back to Pac, everybody's crazy about Pac. Pac. Last time we saw Pac on a mainstream level, he was working Austin Aries, I believe, at that WrestleMania. I think he had maybe 1 or 2 matches after that 2 years ago, and that was it. I mean, you got to remember here, folks, they have to go beyond their hardcore audience. They've upgraded from the mom and pop deli to the Subway, just like ECW. So they have to go mainstream. This is not going to, if they're smart, it won't be your cheesy little elite, elite, you know, whatever they do, that stupid chant. It won't be, you can't be, you know, you can't sit there and be a bunch of kids in a treehouse anymore. So beyond the hardcores, who cares about Pac? They're going to see him and go, that's fucking Neville. Oh, he ain't worth a shit. Why? Because WWE devalued him so much. Now, if he would have came straight from the indies, bypassed WWE and done something like this, they could build him up into something greater. SoCal Uncensored, Daniels, Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, pretty much knew they were coming. They're good gets. MJF was out there, and I love me some MJF. I actually liked him on All In. He was one of my favorite parts of All In. He's a damn good promo. He plays the gimmick well. He made fun of Conrad Thompson, called him tons of fun and all that shit, and I loved it. I loved every fucking minute of it because I thought I was fat until I seen that son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. That is one big motherfucker. If there was anybody that needed to go on Weight Watchers, it's that son of a bitch. God damn. He could barely, at one point they showed him trying to get back onto the stage. He could barely climb the steps to get back on the stage. He had to grab both handrails. Come on, dude. I'm by no means skinny, but Jesus Christ, I look skinny compared to him. So I love MJF for that. And then MJF is doing his promo and he gets hit over the fucking head by a crutch, and it's, oh god, it's Joey fucking Janela and Penelope Ford. Now I love Penelope Ford. I've seen her live a couple times for Queens of Combat, but god damn it, I should have expected this Joey Janela bullshit. This Joey Janela fucking mud show bullshit that he does. Should have expected this from the Young Bucks. I really should have. Sorry, but this motherfucker doesn't belong on. I'll tune out when he's on. They're gonna see their ratings dip by, you know, when by if they're measuring just my household, they're gonna see the ratings dip when that motherfucker comes on my screen, because I won't watch him. Of course, you got the Bucks, Cody, Brandy. Brandy's the chief branding officer. Gotta wonder if that's a jab at Stephanie McMahon. Hangman Page comes out there, cuts a promo. He's the one that was interrupted by Pac. Again, who cares about Pac? What the fuck has Pac done? They mentioned something about OWE coming from China. I have no idea who these guys are, nor do I care. It's just probably a lot of flippity flappity floppity flu. Britt Baker is out there. She's the first or second female signed. Good for her. And then we get Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho is rumored to be wanting to still work in Japan. So I don't think Jericho's exclusive. He needs to be. If they were smart, they'd make him exclusive and say, hey, either come with us and be exclusive or go back over there to Japan. Do what you want. They need exclusive talent. They can't let their talent work anywhere else. So that's all the press conference. They had fireworks. No mention of a star cast in Vegas, even though Meltzer thinks it'll happen. Again, Conrad, it's time to come out and say that you're working for these guys. It just is. You may not be getting paid directly for them, but you're definitely under their umbrella. They announced another show in Jacksonville with part of the proceeds going to victims of gun violence. Good on them. That second show will probably be Labor Day weekend because the one in Vegas is Memorial Day weekend. As far as their TV deal goes, well, let me get back to the Goldberg thing before I lose my train of thought again. That fan that I was telling you about who was marking out over Goldberg, she on that Wrestling Inc. podcast, she goes, if you look at All Elite's Wrestling's Twitter, which was barely a day old at that point, they don't follow many wrestlers, but they're following Goldberg. And if you look at Goldberg's Twitter, Goldberg doesn't follow many wrestlers, but he follows AEW. Could that be something in the works? I'm like, no. That could be Goldberg and AEW working everybody. Probably is. Here's what kills me. Here's what fucking kills me. We bitch about WWE using these part-time guys and the part-timers holding the belts and blah, 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 blah. And then you mark out over Goldberg going to AEW? Goldberg is a fucking part-timer. Why is it okay for them to do it, but not okay for WWE? It's a double standard among you stupid fucking wrestling fans. I blame the fans for this shit. I blame the fans for putting over that damn tampon spot. It's just as much the fans' fault as it is the wrestlers, and I'm sick of it. So, yeah, that was the All Elite deal. The rumors are is that their Paramount offered them big money to go there, and TNT has offered them. They're saying Turner. Turner has nothing to do with TNT. Turner has nothing to do with TBS anymore. It's all AOL Time Warner. They're all owned by Time Warner, who is owned by Warner Brothers, who is owned by AT&T. And, you know, the guys who were once in that regime that never wanted wrestling back on that programming again, they're gone. Jamie Kellner has been gone for a few years now. So there is a chance that they would get wrestling back on one of those two networks again. You can't have penises flopping around on the network, inflatable penises. You can't have people doing tampon spots. Advertisers aren't going to go for that shit. Sorry, but I don't know. It's hard to really convey this because you got all these fucking smart marks out there, these smart mark fans who gobble this shit up and are thinking this is the greatest thing since sliced bread and this is the second coming of the Monday Night War. And come on. Come on. And to the Khan family, if you're expecting to make money off of this, within the first year, you're going to lose your ass. Any money that you put into this thing, starting from whenever you signed on that dotted line, you expect that money to be blow money. You're never going to see that money again. And we'll see once these ratings come out. They have to get on a big network like a TNT or a TBS. They can't go to WGN and expect this thing to take off. Nobody watches WGN anymore. I said maybe a good network for them to start off on would be Vice. Because the Vice channel is edgy to where you could do tampon spots and you could do the damn dick spots on there. You're going to have a very limited fucking audience. But if you want to do the dick spots and if you want to have the tampon spots, stupid shit like that, like Joey Janela, then that's probably the place to do it. That's probably the place to start off at. But in my opinion, you need to get rid of the stupid shit. Get yourself on a major network and do it right. You can have an adult product, but that shit is like fifth graders in a tree house. I almost said cheese house. Yeah, cheese house. Fifth graders in a cheese house. There you go. Cutting it up. I'm tired, folks. That's going to be it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. AC, keep drinking that Sky vodka. Like John Cena. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out the Rise of Liberty's channel. Just type in Rise of Liberty Podcast on your YouTube and go check it out. There's an episode called The Rise Reacts, and it's got John Cena on there doing his vodka commercial. It's the funniest thing ever. Remember, ladies, when AC shotguns a thing of vodka, he's only thinking about you. What kills me is AC probably has one of those damn little spigots, those spouts on the end of it like bartenders have, so it's like he's drinking from a giant hamster bottle. Oh, AC, we love you. We love you, AC. Take that headband off. That's it for me, folks. We'll see you down the road.